Bernie Sanders was somehow able to magically win the nomination this time, how big of a drawback is his foreign policy overall, and specifically Russiagate? Is it something that, is disqualifying, or would you still support him regardless?
No, it's not disqualifying. Bernie is excellent on domestic policies. His foreign policy has always been squiggly or squishy. I don't know whichever term you want to use, but it's never been consistent. And he often repeats CIA talking points, which is a mistake. Why is that a mistake? Because the CIA needs to convince you of the reason why they need to invade another country. And if you buy into the pretext, now you're immoral. But usually the pretext is we have to help people who are being oppressed and murdered by a dictator. That's usually the pretext. So now if you say, I agree, that's happening, but I don't want to help them, now you look like you're immoral, that you don't want to help people. So if you accept the CIA framing of these regime change wars, then you already lost. And that's what Bernie does all the time. Why? He has bad advisors. Bernie had bad advisors in 2016. He got bad advisors this time. What's attractive about Bernie is Bernie and Bernie's positions, right? And so that's why I support Tulsi over Bernie in the primary, because Tulsi's got a much clearer foreign policy. I think it's fantastic. I think that if we can break the military-industrial complex's narrative on our foreign wars right now and start talking about all the money we're spending on the military, which is what she does. She says we're spending $4 billion a month in Afghanistan, and we still have dirty water in Flint. No one else is doing that. So the fact, and you see how allergic the military-industrial complex is to the truth. Tulsi Gabbard, someone polling at 2 or 3%, says that in public, and they immediately got to try to squash her.
Well, that's something else I wanted to ask you, is because they're spending so much time and energy against her. Do you think that these polls are accurate? Because why would you exert so much time and energy against a candidate who you're saying doesn't have a chance?
I think those polls are probably accurate. I mean, there's lots of polls that the DNC doesn't use, and they're pretty consistent. I mean, I think the highest Tulsi has ever polled was maybe 5 or 6%. So I think they're probably right or near right. I think the reason that she gets such pushback and so many smears from the establishment media is because she's pushing back against the establishment's narrative. And the establishment's narrative is we need to keep bombing 7 different Muslim countries right now. We got to keep doing that. And as soon as Trump says we got to take soldiers out, they're like, he's crazy. What is he doing? He's wrong. You can't take soldiers out. So every time he announces taking soldiers out of Syria, there would immediately be a gas attack. Isn't that amazing? And then now we've learned, of course, that those gas attacks were all bogus. Those were, again, being committed by terrorists. And who are the terrorists? Al-Qaeda, ISIS, now being called al-Nusra. And who's supporting them? Saudi Arabia and the CIA. Look up a thing called Timber Sycamore. Just look that up. Google Timber Sycamore. It'll tell you exactly what it is. The CIA is supporting terrorists to overthrow Assad. Why do we want to overthrow Syria? Why? No one ever talked. Well, because he's a butcher. So fucking what? We're committing a genocide in Yemen. So it can't be because he's a butcher. Why are we in Syria? Because Saudi Arabia and Qatar wants to put a natural gas line right through Syria to sell it to Europe. That's what's happening. And the news will never tell you that.